President Donald Trump had his first test of how well his power will stretch to the smaller areas in the nation, essentially filling some gaps in some holes to keep the administration going before the midterm elections. And the results were mixed, but they weren't necessarily bad mixed. It was just he didn't get the sweep, but it came out the way it was expected. Starting off with Wisconsin, where liberal judge Susan Crawford secured the seat on the state Supreme Court, defeating conservative candidate Brad Schimmel, who of course was endorsed by Donald Trump, and of course had endorsements by billionaire Elon Musk, who came into the state to pay people money to get them to vote for him, hopefully. It maintains the 4-3 liberal majority in that state so that if anything goes before the Supreme Court in Wisconsin, it'll more or less go against Donald Trump, just sort of in context if it's conservative versus a liberal type of thing. We'll see what's happening. Right now, issues there are abortion rights and union power, which essentially will go there. Over $20 million was spent in support of Schimmel, including giving out $1 million checks to people who signed petitions to say they were against activist judges. Let's go down to Florida, where essentially everything is now status quo. Still, Republicans retain the 2 House seats that in the special elections that were meant to fill seats for people who left the House to go to the main floor, to go to the main dance and play for Donald Trump in his administration. Jimmy Patronis and Randy Fine emerged victorious in their respective districts, bolstering the GOP's presence in the House to make sure everything was stayed. What the margin of victory essentially is the real story there. While not quite the landslides that they were from people who actually had those spots. Walz, who actually was a Republican representative at the time before he was pulled up to be on Trump's big staff, won by like 35 points. In this case, Fine did not win by that many points. So there's a shift in who's there, maybe because they really wanted Walz and didn't know the other guy, or maybe because people are a bit upset with how things are going and not quite shifting the full support towards the Democrats and the Republicans at the moment. Now, the influence of Musk and the influence of Trump to be expected, Musk a bit unexpected, a wild card if you will, adds interesting wrinkles to local and state races because Musk can show up and put money into a local race like none other. Yes, George Soros and the other guys on the side did the same thing, but they didn't write $1 million checks to people. They did not do that one. How will this play out going future for elections and everything going forward? Well, we'll see what happens as they have, general non-off-year elections this November for a couple of random things that your state may have. Probably no more filling seats unless something happens in special cases for a local level. But in 2026, next year, when we have the midterm elections to see who actually ends up controlling the House, the Senate, and more governorships, because many governorships will be up for grabs in 2026. That's when the real big test comes for. Right now, this is a pop quiz, and Trump basically made a pass for a pass-fail grade in this one. Can't really do very much with what happened here, but we have it in record. So let me know what you think about so far, the so far so good or so far not so good going forward for Trump and his very small test of election influence, which was a very small deal altogether.